Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I got mine. So tied together. Wondering in
I have to get one anyway, aren't I? Because you know what? I bought one and gave it to
Yeah, you gifted one, which is really kind of you. So it's like you did already get one, but you know, you passed it on.
I own it.
Yeah, we'll do that too coming up.
Right.
Hi, everyone. Great morning to you. I am tuning in here from New Jersey, coming to you from Try Together with Mrs. Emily Kalcher. Is that pronounced correctly?
Yes.
Wow. What does your last name mean? Do you know?
I don't know. No.
It's a great question. You can look up the origin on Google after this.
We think it's Austrian, but we're not Austrian people. All of my husband's family are more kind of the London area.
Yeah.
Mine is sort of a bit in Sussex and a bit in Kent. And yeah, we're kind of between us, we're all over the place.
Yeah, and you're in England now.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So, hi everyone. My name is Pratibha Day. Thank you for those tuning in this morning. I hope you're all having a great day or night wherever you are. And I am here with Mrs. Emily Kalcher, and I would like to tell a bit about her to you. So, may I?
Yes, fire away.
So Mrs. Emily Kalcher is a graduate astrologer of applied astrology and intuitive tarot and oracle card reader. She claimed her internal power through Les Brown's Power Boys training program. Emily founded the Lunar Pumpkin community, which I think is cute. It's such a name. Planted in the darkness of the new moon with faith that we'll see the light of the sun each new day. The full moon will appear at the peak of the lunar cycle, and we wax and wane with the moon, lovingly growing for our highest good. She utilizes knowledge of astrology, the chakras, archetypes of the moon, and tarot to manifest her passions into reality. You can find out more at lunar-pumpkin.com and the Facebook page Lunar Pumpkin. Is that correct?
It is, yes. Thank you.
And Instagram.
Yeah.
So I just want to ask you, is this a calling that you had since you were young, do you feel?
I do, yes. I've always felt that I'm a healer. So I went and attempted nursing to begin with, and nursing was something that I was doing for my grandma because the war had come and she wasn't able to fully realize it herself. But and I was told, oh, you're good with people. You've always got so much empathy. But I was also on the flip side told, you're too sensitive. And so it's kind of man up a bit. But really, I always looked up and I felt when I saw the moon that I was somehow part of something greater than me. But then when I saw the sun, I realized when making big decisions, if I saw angel rays, that it was definitely something that would definitely be something that would manifest in a really good way for me. So I've always used those as my guide. Although I've had some belief that maybe there's a God, maybe it's not God named God, maybe it's a higher power of some kind, divination, I don't know. And none of us really truly know, unless you could come back from the bed of dead and tell us, which is what kind of some people do when they channel. But obviously it's in a slightly different way. But yes, I've always felt that healing was something I should be doing. When I was after attempting nursing, and unfortunately I got ill, I have inflammatory bowel disease, which I've learnt to contend with and realised that it's not a weakness. In fact, it's because I feel too much, and the connection between my gut and my brain is very great. And that vagus nerve is what connects us, and actually our immunity, our growth, and our mind, our whole well-being are connected through that one nerve. So I realized that it's the vagus nerve. So all of that is just a symptom of society and my upbringing and the world around me. It's not any weakness of mine. So I've realized that throughout time, but I've totally forgotten what I was saying now.
Okay. Can you repeat once again, what is the disease you stated you were diagnosed with?
Oh, inflammatory bowel disease. I have Crohn's.
Crohn's disease. Yes, I have a few friends who have that. It's very interesting how, since I've had one friend that has it, now I know of others who have it as well. It's like you kind of possibly attract meeting more people who have it. That's rough. That's rough. Is that rough for you now?
No,
I'm
because
really happy about that.
yes, because I think that actually aligning myself with purpose has actually made my symptoms so much better, and I've cut down my medication to almost nothing.
Congratulations. Good job. I like that. Yeah, I'm all about holistic as well. However, I do feel that, medication is necessary regarding some psychosis and diagnoses, things of that nature that are really beyond our control, because even in psychiatry and psychology, there are no answers to why there's the complexities of, someone's brain health concerns. But I feel like you can know if people were taken care of properly and really put the effort forth, possibly then. But I want to tell you, I mentioned this a few times already, but Dr. Daniel Ammon, his book, The End of Mental Illness, he opened his own clinics, a few of them, where he does the brain scans and sees what is the chemical imbalance, how is the chemical imbalance being caused, and then he can undo the process for, whatever clients he gets. But, he has a different approach. And, when you're different in the world, you may not have a large following because you are different. So, thanks for sharing that. And I feel like nursing, for someone who is empathetic like you, and I'm an empath as well, but however, I feel I possibly may have built more of resiliency and more so in control of my emotions than before. I used to cry all the time. I was super sensitive. I was more so shunned for being sensitive and feeling, and labeled names like sadness, that I'm too depressed, and instead of getting someone help, that's what people tend to do. So I feel like nursing for you would have been very extreme, as in for someone of your nature, that you would have just possibly broke down, because you'd be seeing all these harsh things, and it would really get to you. What do you think?
So what I think is that basically it was that wake-up call I needed, that no, it wasn't for me in that way. I think that, yes, the Crohn's was a symptom of, no, that's not you. But at the same token, the purpose or the why of, yes, you're a healer, and you have been since a young age, that actually that's still there. But it needs to be in a way that I'm not breaking myself. Because after the nursing didn't pan out as I thought it would,
That's right.
then I went into dementia care, and I was nursing people through to the end, through to their last moment.
Yes.
And there was some therapeutic in that. But at the same token, the heavy side of things, the unpredictable nature of dementia and everything that entails, that was far too much for my mind to cope with. And my body decided at the end of it, no, you can't do this all your life. I'm still, my muggle job, as I call it, I work in a hospital. And yes, it's necessary for what I do to impact the rest of the team and help the consultants out. And essentially that then helps the patients because things are organised. I mean, I'm not on the phone. I'll leave that to my secretaries. They're very capable of that. But yes, I'm a CA, so clerical assistant. But I enjoy what I do. Yeah, I enjoy what I do, but it's not my be all and end all. I know my purpose is to be my own boss, as it were, and healing and growing through healing other people. And my tools for that are my divination tools of astrology and tarot, and oracle too. I sort of dabble in the tarot and oracle, but the astrology is what I was trained for. And as I say, that power voice was instilled in me in telling my stories, however painful some of them were. If anybody's interested, it's called Shoot for the Moon, my speech I made.
I like that.
It's terrible, but the speech is still there.
I like it. Hey, you did it. A lot of people did not. It's all about, taking action and doing it. And, you say to your care assistant now. So care assistant is not where you're with someone towards the end of their, death, right?
Sorry, no, I'm not a care assistant now. I'm a clerical assistant. So
Oh,
admin. I work in admin, so it's I'm a clerical assistant now. But I
oh,
was
clerical. Okay. I
I
don't know if
was
it was care or clerical. Okay. Yes. Use that power voice and project more. So do you know the books, The Five Regrets of the Dying?
no.
You may want to read it because this was a woman who was a nurse, and then she was, she had the five clients, I believe so from my memory, that that she was with them as a personal caregiver until their time of death. So it's the five regrets that the people had that they wish they would have done in life, in their own scenarios. And that was heavy for her to see, but it taught her a lot to journey through these five people until their death, and how it affected her and what she learned from that. Like, one thing, that it stated in the book was, how we say, oh, why did a good person die early, or when a child dies? And it's really because that was their time. Like, that's the end of the road for them. When they came onto this earth, that's when they were supposed to go. So it doesn't really matter because death doesn't discriminate. So in that book, I really like how she shared, her hardships and doing a job like that, and then the people's scenarios, and then, the aftermath of it, and her being, kind of traveling around to do this work, and just the emotional toll that it takes on the person. I think it's a really good read, and it's a very popular book, and it's known like globally. I think you should read it.
Okay.
Or listen to it,
I've got one to recommend to you as well. So Living Your Yoga by Judith Hanson Lassiter.
Living Your Yoga.
Living Your Yoga. Yes. Basically, it's about sort of finding a little bit of the spiritual in the everyday, but she tells some really hard stories of what she's been through and things. I found that part of my healing journey was yoga, you see.
Yeah.
I won't stand up and show people, but I'm wearing a top that we discussed, which basically says it's just a phase.
Yeah.
It was from my first yoga teacher,
Yeah.
put on merchandise. So I decided, you know what?
You can show it.
Support her. Oh, okay, go on then.
Yeah, I like it. And I like all the moon phases.
Of course. Yeah.
So I want to ask you, in life, you're doing all of this work on a daily basis, including, your job. How does this feel to you? Do you feel like you want to open your own school? Like, what is the goal that you have for yourself, in this field of work? What do you want to do?
So I would like to be opening up a membership.
A subscription.
Yes, and be doing lots of regular moon events at new and full moon.
I love that.
So at the new moon, we manifest our goals that we want to work with. At the first quarter moon, we then take our first action steps. And then at the full moon, we celebrate any achievements we have. And as I think we already discussed before, but we haven't told our listeners yet, have we? It is a full moon tomorrow in Aquarius. So Aquarius is very humanitarian. It's about speaking to the collective. Well, Aquarius is an air sign, so it's all about the communication. But the communication to the collective, to a larger audience, to networking, to friends, to people we don't know so well, and helping them in a way that is authentic. So that to me is that high road of Aquarius. But as some people who are a little bit astrology buffs might know, this is the second full moon in Aquarius in a row, when we should only have a few moons in a season. This is an extra one. So we've got 13 moons this year because we've got this blue moon, which is what a second full moon in a month is. We've got blue moon in Aquarius. So
why do you think that's happening? Why do you know why that's happening? Is that because of global warming have anything to do with this?
Oh no. it's an astrological nuance, as it were. So every few years or so there'll be 13 moons rather than 12. But I think it means we've got extra, that second chance to actually
I'll take it.
On our connections. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
I recently saw, I thought what I thought was like a full moon, but I just haven't been out late at night as I recently was. And I saw on the ride over and on the ride back, like I was staring at the moon. So I have moon tattoos because I've been close with the moon since I was young. Through my pain, I used to write about the moon, and I always felt a nature and, universe connection when I look at the moon, no matter how much pain you're in or whatever you're going through. So this time I looked at the moon. I have some rough days personally at home, and I looked and I'm just like, like this is happening again, or what is this to teach me? You look for what can I do about this now? Like, as in, that was the old me, who would look at the moon and when I was in pain and trauma, like related to, my trauma, I was in the pain, and I hadn't had therapy, and I hadn't had self-development, all this growth that I did this year or try together, anything. So I'm like, wow, like it's interesting how, when Les Brown says you may be done with your past, but your past is not done with you. So I felt like I was having one of those moments, and I'm like, okay, maybe it's because the full moon's coming up, like all these emotional changes. There's some like arguments. There's like, things fluctuating. And I'm like, this is happening for me, because we're supposed to remember it's happening for us. Yes. So I keep that positive mindset, and, we have to keep strong and keep moving forward. But I just wanted to say how the moon is very prominent, and it's however much attention people want to pay to a moon or trees, leaves, animals, things of the same, because you can be so busy, on the go, that you don't pay attention to nature and what's already here for free for all of us to tune into, to care about. And a lot of people don't, because they're just only concerned about their work day,
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. So there's a few things that I would come to let you know there. So we are this year going through lots of different squares. So Saturn and Uranus squares. I'm not sure how much astrology you know, but just for anybody who's not aware, Uranus is that great awakener.
Wow.
It's actually the ruler of Aquarius. So there's that connection too. But Saturn is all about our disciplines and structures. So what's being said is that Uranus and Saturn squaring, and squares are that 90-degree angle to each other in a chart. Those planets at those points from each other. That it's there to break down structures and reform in a way which is more beneficial for the collective, and that we need to rethink where our discipline lies, being authentic again. And we've got one more of those in November coming up, and that's then our whole year. There's like 3 throughout this whole year, which have been affecting us all on a collective level, I believe.
Wow. So is that why that was happening, or do you experience that yourself too, coming up as the new moon is coming up? I mean, the full moon.
Full moon, yeah. So yes, they're all throughout the whole year. There's that theme, but I have been noticing quite a few tensions and quite a few hidden things, but then there's things I don't want to talk too much about, the media and everything, but there's lots of things that are either hidden or censored or whatever in between. But there's also, beyond that, people are showing that they're deeper truths, because they're coming out, and there's no way of hiding those. We're all experiencing quite a lot with all the lockdowns and the COVID situation, however that's affecting people. And whether they're due to COVID or not, a lot of people are experiencing loss. And I lost my my father-in-law during 2020. So yes, that was part of my reframing of the pain scenario. That I wrote part of my stories, is we submitted stories for part of our Power Voice program that we both were part of things we've overcome, things that have been not so, what's the word? Not so pleasant or whatever experience, and reframing what have we learned from those and how can we go forward and make sure that either those scenarios are not forgotten or we can make progress, because we're always learning and growing.
You know, you have a really, thanks for sharing that. You have a really mellow voice, and I feel like you'd be good for bedtime stories or any yoga, like guided meditation.
Meditations. I've done one on my YouTube channel. I did a meditation. It was more about intention setting.
Very relaxing voice, and I feel you should definitely do like voiceovers. Definitely get into voiceovers. It's Voice123 is the website. I don't know what you can do there, but yeah, I would definitely do more with your voice. I feel like people need this kind of calming voice, especially during this time. You know, I know we're part of power voice, but not everyone has a power voice or feels the need to project. And to each their own. People may have their own opinions, but I feel like if you're given the gift of having a nice, sweet, mellow voice, to use that to your advantage instead of trying to be or wanting to be, you know, a powerhouse that's like loud, you know. So just because there's a program that's called Power Voice, you know, your power voice is in your mellowness, you know, if that makes sense. It's, you know, you take everything with a grain of salt. That's what I've learned, no matter what coach or whoever the person is in their expertise, they only are saying it from their perspective. I always have to remember to listen to my own perspective and then think about others, you know, other perspectives, and then make a decision, because it's not just about what one person says or two people say. It's about how do I feel about it and what do I feel like is the best for me, you know?
Well, I love that.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, I say it's sort of the inner strength that I realized over time, and obviously doing all these learning, the trainings, etc. Oh, sorry, I've just gone a bit blank.
Yeah, you did. What other trainings have you done?
Oh, so yes, I did the applied astrology. So I did the all 3 levels of Deborah Silverman's applied astrology, and I absolutely loved it. I did my 2 client readings. Not everyone did, but I did.
I like it. How does your, oh, go ahead.
No, after you, it's all good.
I was going to ask, what does your family feel? Family or friends, or like, what do you have support with, you know, what you want to do here as a goal?
So my husband is very supportive. He made my website for me. He also made me a little logo. So he calls me Pumpkin, hence the name.
I like that. Wait, I'm sorry. What else did he make? He made the website, and what else?
Oh yes, he made the website and any kind of what are they called? You know,
posts.
No, I'm making my posts. I make all my
testimonials.
All my writing. Use Canva to do all the creations. But no, for YouTube, you have a little trailer or whatever for your front end of your video, and behind the scenes, he's done all of that sort of thing for me.
Is that the work that he does?
No, he has created lots of websites in the past, many years ago, but no, he works for a company that have trampolines. So it's mostly,
that's fun.
But he he runs the cafe part. He's the manager of the cafe, and he's also a part-time duty manager. So for anybody in the UK, it's Flip Out. I don't know whether anyone knows or whether it's global or whatever, but yeah, they have lots of franchises of it's mostly for kids coming in and using the trampolines.
Flip Out, is that the name?
Yeah, Flip Out.
I've never heard of that. It must be just UK, but who knows? I would have to Google. So tell me more about you. Tell me more about your journey. What are, do you want to share your story with us? A bit of your story.
So when I was growing up, as I say, I was often called too sensitive, but also I was living with what I didn't know at the time was a neurodiversity called dyspraxia, which from the Latin translates as not practical. Although people would see it as, say, the neurodiversity, it's much like dyslexia is about the words, dyspraxia is about the coordination and putting words together in such a way with sequencing. So any kind of issues you might experience growing up as a child with dyspraxia.
May I just say something before you go on?
Sure.
I know of the word dyspraxia because I'm actually going to graduate school to be a speech pathologist in January. So I know about
it. It's so good.
Yeah, so like, I'm like, that's familiar, but this is how I know that I'm in the right path, is because I'm attracting people that I'm interviewing who had a speech pathologist, and my career is going to be in speech pathology. So that's really exciting. But
I didn't have a speech pathologist. I had an OT, had an occupational therapist for sort of hand-eye coordination things.
Wow.
Can you catch a ball? Can you write? No, I'm gripping too tight. I can't write. Can you copy from a blackboard? Sometimes.
So you said you didn't have a speech pathologist. You had
no,
who? You had who?
I just had myself.
Wow.
Just had to really sort of try and focus.
So look at that. You healed yourself. Yeah.
I did. Yeah. Well, I healed myself from depression as well, which is where I think there's been so much trauma in my early life.
Yes, do continue back to where we were. I don't want to,
I'm double Gemini here. I'll retract somewhere.
Yeah, you were stating how, when you had dyspraxia and then.
So people who have dyspraxia growing up, they might have trouble tying shoelaces, say copying from a blackboard, sequencing things. So what do I do first? If somebody was to give you some photo cards saying somebody getting up in the morning, would you get them in the right order?
Right.
So there's lots of different little things, but and as I said, yes, some people do find it hard to structure their sentences when they're speaking. So the only thing that seems to affect me with that these days is occasionally I will go blank, or I'll say a word and I mean something that's actually the opposite of that word. But the majority of the time, people probably wouldn't know. I think that you find little ways of coping and organizing yourself to a point where I am pretty much post-it note central. So if there's a post-it note somewhere, as long as it's close to a diary, we're good.
Aww.
And my diary knows everything. I used to say that I know nothing and the diary knows everything.
Wow.
But it's not true.
I like that. That should be a shirt or something, I know nothing, my diary knows everything. I'm serious. You should put that up on your website. Definitely.
No, because it makes me sound like I'm not knowledgeable. And my Capricorn moon would tell me, no, you're achieving.
Really? I think that would be a great sell. I think that's catchy. I think that will be you taking it like personal, possibly like looking at it from your perspective, but it's all about marketing and sales, right? So that's cute. Teens would love it. I feel like anybody who journals would love it. I know nothing. My diary knows everything. Like, it's kind of a sarcastic saying. Actually, you're laughing. You're laughing about it. Yeah, because you like it.
Actually, yeah. Okay. I have been kind of the master of sarcasm over the years.
You have been what?
I have been a bit of a master of sarcasm over the years.
Yeah. I think that's a great saying. I'm telling you, if you don't take it, I may do it one day.
Okay.
But I don't know. I feel like it came from you. I have to give you credit.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah, tell me more about your journey. That's where we left off, from childhood for you having dyspraxia, and then I don't know if you're comfortable discussing some of the traumas, but you can briefly, if you want to touch on the things you went through and now you've overcome.
Okay. So basically, I always knew that I was loved in my family, and my parents have always been very supportive. But there were sort of a few arguments and things, and I did feel like a bit of a mediator and sort of moderating. It's also my little sister used to like to talk and talk and talk. My poor parents have got 3 Gemini daughters. So we're always quick ideas, quick talking all the time. But it was a case of, yes, we knew we were loved. We went on some lovely holidays and things. We experienced cultures in that way. And there were just those moments where I thought, am I quite like my family, or am I somebody completely different? Who brought me here and why am I here? But I also told myself, because of the dyspraxia, I thought I was stupid. So that caused depression.
Yeah.
So I literally was depressed from the age of 3 to 18. And
wow.
Then, yeah.
3 to 18.
Yeah, I don't tend to tell people, but I have obviously overcome that with.
How did I just want to stop there and dig a little bit into that? The age 3. So you remember being 3 years old in your memory? Because usually, you don't. I remember 4 or 5 possibly as well. So what was depressing about that? Like, did something happen that led you to be depressed?
Well, I did always feel like the stupid one, as I say. So I basically I remember being at play school and thinking, why won't any kids come and talk to me? And then it was a case of there was a slide and everybody was going down it. I politely queued to go down the slide. such a British person, queuing and queuing and queuing. And then I tried talking to people, and I was ignored and ignored and ignored. And I realized,
at 3 years old.
And I realized that actually, I realized that I was being ignored everywhere because I wasn't having a loud voice. And not having a loud voice meant you didn't exist somehow.
Yeah.
And it was kind of, with that and telling yourself you're stupid, you obviously got a lot to contend with.
Yeah, so, you do.
I mean, obviously, parents have said, "Oh no, you're not stupid." And it's kind of, we tried another way, and you think, "Well, tell me the other way of
right."
what people were trying to do. It's like, well, a lot of people. I know the astrology behind it now. So I think it's Saturn opposite your moon. You're sort of you're old when you're young, and you're young when you're old. So I could get on really well with adults, but kids my own age, I felt I had nothing in common. I thought, why are they being so stupid? Who wants to run from there to there? I just don't care. Just let me go down the slide and enjoy the slide, and let me be seen and heard, because I don't want to be faded in the background. I want to be as valuable as everyone else.
That's right. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I really like that. That's truly you. I really like that. And so, did your parents know that you were having trouble at school with the kids, and they just kind of said to just...
Yeah. They knew I was bullied, but it was mostly verbal. There was no sort of, there was nothing that was so physical that would really hurt me, as it were. And it was kind of, they talked to some teachers, but the teachers would do nothing. And you think, well, I've still got to live here, and I've still got to try and learn. So put all my energy into learning.
May I ask you what year this was, or like what's your age, like age range? Yeah.
So I say it was like basically my school life. And then a little bit in college, I was still a little bit on the depressed side, but I was making some friends there and realizing that actually some of the college materials, so I studied a BTEC in art studies. And some of the material I was thinking, this is really easy. I can write on this all day long. But give me pen and paper and it'll take me hours. Give me a computer and I'll do it really quickly. Because I learned to touch type is one of my coping mechanisms. Plus, also, it was something that my parents said to me, this would be useful when she's older. And they sort of fought the junior school to actually tell them, do you know what? If that is something that you offer, can you help her? So my sisters and I were learning through this program called Mavis Beacon. And they were having fun with it as well. So it wasn't ended up just being me in that respect. So actually, it felt like it was something that I was doing for other people, in which case I felt that because I'm doing something for other people, it's worthy. But yeah, I mean, obviously these days it's a case of I've overcome that, because I learned one morning, I just woke up and thought, no, I'm not going to beat myself up anymore. The world beats me up too much. Kind of decided, no, what's the next best thought? And now these days, there's actually an author who does that. She talks about it. Have you heard of Gabby Bernstein?
No.
Gabrielle Bernstein, or Gabby Bernstein. She's very popular in the manifesting world, as it were.
I'm going to look her up.
Yeah. And actually, my husband the other day came back with some books, and I said, oh my goodness, why have you just bought a load of books by Gabby Bernstein? And he said, oh no, I just had these books recommended somewhere. I thought, well, the universe is aligning.
It is.
Following her on Instagram for ages. It's like, yeah, okay.
That's true. That happens because of your subconscious. It does happen that way. But I wanted to ask you your age now, or the year when all this happened in the schooling, when you were 3 years old. Like, that was many years ago. When was that?
Oh yes, yeah. So I'm 35 now. So
still young. Yeah, I'm gonna be 29. So yeah,
I know, baby.
I'm gonna be 35 at a point. Let's hope and pray. So I look forward to that. Hopefully, if all goes well, I'll be a doctor by that age. So I hope so. And speech pathology. So I hope so.
Wow.
Yeah. Do share with us your crystals.
Oh, so I've got
and your necklace too, because you shared with me.
Oh yeah, right that way. Labradorite. I can't seem to get it on in view.
Yeah, maybe if you keep it still, like. No, I know you had it before though, when it was shining, because it does shine in the light.
Can we see any blue things?
Almost.
Oh, I had a little rainbow come up.
Maybe if you pull it back a little. I know it worked for me. Oh, there you go. It kind of did.
Oh.
Okay. We move on from that. Because we're just moving around. We're just like, is he going to do it? Is he going to do it?
Celestite as well.
That one is really glistening. What is it called?
Celestite.
Celestite. Yeah. When did you start collecting your crystals?
So I stumbled across something on Instagram by this lady called Hibiscus Moon. And I love crystals from, I just don't know, I just feel like I'm instinctively connected to them. Although when I was a kid, I did go on a holiday. It was probably France. We went to France many years. We used to drive.
I'm going to go one day.
Oh, okay, cool. We used to drive in this old space cruiser. So it's like a multi-person vehicle, an MPV, or do you call them that out there?
Vans?
Yeah, basically.
A van? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a van. So yeah, we had one of those back in the days before air conditioning.
Wow.
So going across Europe when it was hot, that was not so fun.
No.
But, the scenery was lovely, of course. The destinations were always worth it. But yes, one of the holidays, I think it was in France, my dad said, oh, you can pick out a souvenir. You each have £10 to spend. I thought, oh, I was thinking, how can I spend £10? That's too much money.
Now that's changed.
So I bought myself, well, rather Dad bought me, but I chose a a rose quartz necklace. I'm not wearing it today, but I think you saw a picture that I was wearing it.
You're wearing your emerald though.
Yes, I've got my emerald heart on, and I've got some black tourmaline. Always protecting my energy.
I love that. So do you feel that, crystals and gemstones only work if you believe, or do you feel like they work even if you don't believe?
That's a really good question.
Yes.
I think they're all a part of nature, because they're all part of minerals, and we are all still made of minerals and elements. So most of our makeup, I think it's 2/3 of our makeup is water. So we've got 75% water, and there's so many elements within life. I feel those elements are reused and reused. So something that could have been, I don't know, a speck of dust, could have actually come together and become something that was part of you. I mean, obviously, you're born, you live in water for 9 months in the womb, but when you take your first breath, that's air, and then you've got earth as you get to walk and ground yourself within nature, and just knowing from there, and then all your creativity and everything, and your passion, that's all fire, and the sun, obviously, biggest ball of fire that there is, that we can see anyway from where we are. But yes, I do feel that the crystals are just part of that earth element, and I've just seemed to be automatically drawn to those. But anybody who just sees a fancy rock somewhere, it doesn't have to be a crystal. We'll automatically go and pick it up and explore it. It's just this human nature to explore something that we see. And I think that actually they work on you whether you believe in them or not, because
I like
nature
that.
works on you. We are a part of nature, we're not separate. And we have those two energies. We have the sun, which is sort of the active energy, the yang energy. It's very fiery, it's, you could say, masculine. But also we have then the moon, which is that more intuitive, reflective breath side of things. And between the two, that's what keeps us alive. We've got the sun that gives us the life, and the moon that actually has works on the tides and actually brings us back to center. It brings us there. It's our feeling world, it's our temperament, it's basically our whole internal world. It's between those two polarities of yin and yang, that everything has balance. And I think balance is essential to everything in life.
Yeah, I really like what you said there. That's really important, and it's key. And I also agree that the gemstone and crystals, I feel, are always still, they're on, like they're activated. But I feel if you believe in them, you can tap into that power and use them to your advantage. But I do feel like they're there for that reason. But if you don't do anything with them or care for them, then it may not really work for you, if you're not in tune with that or believe in that. Because remember, like in Les's program, it's all about your belief. So that's one main thing that I really learned. Yeah.
Yeah, if you can believe it, you can achieve it.
Yeah. So when do you plan to have your subscription out and running and everything else to get going?
I have so many projects on the go.
Yeah.
I'm
gotta focus. Me to myself too. We have to do one at a time,
So at the moment, I'm focusing on trying to get more clients. Obviously, I've got my website where people can book. I post blogs on both my Facebook and Instagram. Definitely for the new and the full moon. And I often do ones relating to the planets during the week, because every day of the week has a planet associated with it.
So do you have your YouTube channel? You said you did.
I do, yes, but I haven't done much on it for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I would recommend to get your YouTube channel going, doing, free readings or everything that, you share with me. I feel like to do that, and then have Patreon where people can monthly subscribe to additional content or additional one-on-ones, things like that. I think that's a great idea for you. Yeah. What do you think?
I was trying to go down the route of doing Instagram lives and creating a snip feed rather than Linktree, because then people can give donations if something that I'm talking about resonates with them, and then explore full-on readings rather than just a hot take, one card here or one answer to a astrology question.
Yeah. So I personally, there's someone called Sarah VBR. I'm not sure if it's Vibra or like, I don't know. I've been following her for a while, and I finally ended up joining her Patreon, which is $5 a month. So she does her YouTube videos, and then she has Patreon for $5 for the month. And in that monthly subscription, she shares more of her personal life, like additional worksheets and additional input on the readings for like Capricorn and all the other signs. So like she gives all that extra stuff, but she's able to because of the Patreon subscriptions. So that's why I say that subscriptions will be really beneficial, because when people see your YouTube channel and with the SEO, when you do the appropriate hashtags to get more, notice, or you can even, regarding finances, like there are ways to, boost your channel. I would have to remember the company's name, but when I first started out, there's a company, and, it has a cost, but it will make your channel more known, and then you can have more Patreon clients that way. But that's specifically like Patreon based. That's not having one-on-one clients. That's a monthly subscription that she personally does. Other people do it as well. The website Patreon, you can go on there, and it has others that you can subscribe to, that whatever you're looking for, whatever you want to search in the search bar, you want more information on, there's people who give you information for like, the $5 or $10 a month. Yeah. Did you know that?
I have heard of Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon.
Option. Yeah, okay. So maybe go through that way instead of trying to do just membership on my website.
No, like, I don't know if that person has a website, but I just know that Patreon is a good tool to use when you're getting started. $5 a month, and she has 1,000 and something subscribers. So 5 times that 1,000 something, that keeps her, that adds up. That's like about $6,000 she's making a month. When it's the low ticket item, people are paying $5, but she has over 1,000 people. So that's a salary right there. That's how she's able to continue making YouTube videos, putting out content, because it's paying her back. So it's kind of having that set up, because otherwise she can't do it all that time she puts into it.
I am actually writing as well. So I'm making a tarot and astrology guide. So it's putting
that's really good.
The astrology into the tarot, as it were, so that if somebody were to pick it up, they'd be able to do a reading and think, oh, okay.
And understand it.
Understand both sides.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I resonate with. And it's kind of working on the energy with everything.
Yeah.
Everything is energy.
Yeah. I just recommend, like, when you have time available, I would just research all the other tarot, oracle, just readers and astrologers, see what they're doing, how they're doing it. And I would apply that to yourself, so you can also get on that same level and fulfill that dream, and talk to them, talk to others too. I mean, we have that abundance mindset, right? So it's not thinking lack that you're going to take clients or something. There's plenty of people, there's plenty of YouTube channels about the same things, and people still subscribe. So it's really more so networking and seeing what others are doing, and you do the same. So that's my input from everything I'm seeing, because it worked, right? Like, I've been following her. I enjoy her for years. This is, built up for years. And now I joined because, because I saw she had that, and I was like, I want to know more, so I like that.
Yeah, it's definitely an option to explore. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time here today. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Would you like to say anything else before we wrap it up?
Well, obviously, if anybody has any astrology questions, by all means, ask away, and feel free to book via my website or check out my Instagram, which is at Emily Lunar Pumpkin.
Lunar Pumpkin. I think that's the cutest name. I can see it, you know, everywhere. Lunar Pumpkin. I feel like you can really build a big brand if that's what you wanted to do. Lunar Pumpkin, you know, I think it's such a cute name. Even I feel like it can be in different things. Like you can have like onesies, like child products saying Lunar Pumpkin because it's such a cute name. And you can have even something that's like an adult product saying Lunar Pumpkin, you know?
I've got a lot of business cards. So this one's a bit crumpled, but
I see the pumpkin.
Yeah.
So is it green the color of your brand? Because I saw the post was green. Thank you so much for making those posts, by the way. I thought that was really nice of you and a surprise. I didn't expect that. And I remember sharing that with my best friend. I was like, wow, like I really built this. She was like, yes. She was like, damn right. Because it's like, it's always nice and surprising when I get private messages or when people send me things or share chai together, you know, mugs or share anything. It's just like, wow, like I've done this because I made the decision to build a community and I actually am accomplishing that. And it started with like, it didn't start with, you know, 1,000 something people in the group, like, you know, and so I think it's just an incredible feeling. The fact that because I made the decision to make a video, you know, on my phone, then I made more videos and now it's growing. I feel like when they say, you know, plant the seed, that really is true, you know, takes time. Yeah.
Every new moon, plant your seed of inspiration.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And thank you for seriously, like thank you for all your support. And you know, it's true what they say. The people who support me the most are people who are in my Try Together community and people that I don't know personally, right? As not as close to yet. And instead of, you know, how they say family, friends, things of that nature, it's really your mass market is the public. You know, it's people who can understand my message, relate to me. And it may not be everyone who knows me personally. It's more people I haven't tapped into yet. And that's why they say strangers. We're not really all strangers. We're all connected, but, you know, support you more than people who are close to you because they don't see the big vision for you. They just see you how they know you, you know, that's it. So,
yes, I am so grateful for every one that's in my community as well. I've got, I think, just under 600 followers in my Facebook community, and
600 to 6 million.
Yes,
right. Anything is possible.
Of course it is.
And that's, I've seen, and congratulations on that number too, because it's kind of like having your first 600 downloads or even 6 downloads. And the fact that the message is spreading and technology is a great tool for that. So congratulations.
Thank you.
So we just have to keep moving along. And as long as you keep taking action and doing things every day, things will keep moving forward as long as you're committed. So I'm glad to know you. And I'm glad that you came and really shared that part of your story, especially regarding your childhood. It's very important. But one last question I do want to ask, the healing, have you done that on yourself or did you also have additional therapy and any other, you know, kind of therapies to help you heal with the childhood traumas?
No, I did it on myself. There was one time where I did have pain from arthritis and I had one session of, so I think she was a psychologist person, but only one session. And I thought, nope, she's telling me things that I tell everybody else all the time, but don't apply to myself. So actually, this is not really doing anything.
Okay.
I can give this advice all the time. I can do it all day long. To the cows come home. But I just sound so old when I say your phrases.
It's about it's really about finding a psychologist that works for you. I'm glad that I found a great one for me when I did at the time I did. And it's about actually it's not in one session. Like, I understand what you're saying, because I had 2 sessions with people that didn't work out, but it's going to take time. And that is, it's talking therapy. So it's the back and forth, and they can only tell you, what they recommend that you can do to help yourself, like journal and things, but you have to actually go and apply that. But it seems like you weren't ready to apply that, like, because you're able to tell others, but you weren't able to apply that possibly at the time. Maybe that's what it was. Like, you weren't taking the action, for yourself.
Maybe, but I'm very much an advocate of doing things for yourself and finding the healing tools. So yoga was always my thing. And I mean, I only really started that properly in 2006, I think it was.
Yeah, it's been a while then, 2006. It's because it's 2021 now. It's been a long time. 2006, I was in elementary school.
Oh.
Yeah, so, but I'm glad.
Than that. I might have got my dates mixed up, but it hasn't been a huge amount of time that I've done it anyway. But I do make sure that I fit it in every single day. So
I like that.
Every morning, it's mostly reclined yoga on my bed. There's a person on YouTube and lots of other places, but Brett Larkin Yoga is her YouTube channel, but I have her Uplifted app. And one of the things that I'd love to do in the future is take the Uplifted 200-hour yoga. I mean, I did the 30-hour yin yoga teacher training from Yoga with Cassandra, who was my teacher for where I learned from. And say what?
It's whatever helps you. I like that you found healing in that, and that's your niche. That's really what it's about. Most people don't even have that figured out yet. So it's good that you have something, because it's really to each their own. The rest are just
meditation. So. Without yoga and meditation and being out in nature a little bit here and there.
Have to.
Yeah. Not only the vitamin D, which we all need lots of right now.
Thank you so much. I hope you have the rest of your evening, and enjoy your evening. Have a great day.
Thank you, you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Namaste.